Happy morning to everybody. A great afternoon and a wonderful evening. Today and this Friday, we learn a little bit about science of friendship. Rather than calling it relationships, Patriji always talked about friendship, which encompasses everything. Having great relationships, creating great friends, creating great teams, all of that is possible when we become. I still remember last time Katkins and SVB sir said, when you become a genuine leader, when you become a genuine person, then all you have is nothing but friendship. When we become a person of helping nature and we become genuine, that's a powerful combination to have. In this concept of, there is karma theory. It's not punishment system, it is more of what you create. There are bad deeds, there are good deeds, and truthful deeds. 3. Bad deeds, good deeds, truthful deeds. Everything is relative. I mean, bad is, it's a relative word. Bad is where you're causing hurt to somebody else in some way or the other. Mostly around manipulation or intently, willfully, deliberately doing it, either physically or otherwise. Good is where you're doing good, but there is an expectation behind. You have fundamentally there is an expectation. I want to satisfy myself. I want to, because I do help them, then they're going to help me. So that's going to grow my business. I do this thing at this temple service because God is going to take care of me. Something like that. There's always this expectation with which then there is suffering too. Bad, of course, has a lot of good, has a lot of suffering. It's good. You feel great, but then when things don't happen what you expect, then suddenly turn around. And when we become very genuine, we move into this truthful deeds where we do it selflessly, no expectation. We do it because we love it. So we'll understand how meditation is moving us from one to the other side during today, and then some class on Friday, and then maybe during the week. Physical quotient improved, intelligent quotient improved, and we understood how intelligent quotient, the whole thought power, can be enhanced significantly for manifestation. So we understood a concept more. Not only have a positive thought, but also apply that thought in a way that we can stay into that and then manifest and increase our power to succeed. And now we understand this emotional quotient, emotional intelligence, and spiritual intelligence, both. We become genuine when we understand this whole aspects of spiritual quotient. That we'll do on Friday. But we start responding very nicely. We start becoming a better person when we develop our emotional quotient. We'll learn that a little bit of that today. So before that, friends, let's go into a breath mindfulness meditation. For those of you who are new, welcome to this program. And we are doing breath mindfulness meditation. Means we observe our normal, natural breath throughout the process of meditation. This is also called Anapanasati meditation in Pali language. Ana In breath, apana, out breath. Sati means to be with, in breath and out breath. The process for this meditation is very simple. The goal of the meditation is to empty our mind. I mean, goal in the process, empty our mind. And when we empty the mind, then we empty the mind by reducing all our thoughts. And for that, what we do is observe the breath. When we observe a normal, natural breath, our thoughts become less and less and less and finally become zero. It's a process, it takes time, but we observe the breath, we go into thoughts because automatically thoughts come, then again bring our attention back to the breath. After a few seconds, again the mind will go wander around, go to the thoughts. When you recognize you have thoughts, bring it back. That is a natural process of meditation. There's no expectation that now when we're going to do it for like this 30 or 40 minutes, no expectation that you remain empty-minded throughout. It's not at all. Well, that is the more empty we become, that's more good, or not necessarily either. But the process is to empty yourself as much as possible. And slowly with the practice, we increase that emptiness gaps more and more and more. But however, benefits always are there, no matter whether we are totally empty or empty only for pockets of time. So we observe the breath. That's always a job at hand in meditation. And then keep bringing the attention back to the breath. Every time we recognize that we are thinking, keep bringing the attention back. I play music as a way to help us to get into thoughtless state faster and also guide. And when I'm guiding, that helps you to break the thought and then come back. And later part of the meditation, my guidance may help you to go into deeper states of emptiness. Prior to doing this, we are doing what we call heart elevation process. So we moving ourselves into higher emotional states, high energy, high emotion states, like love, gratitude, compassion. So I would like us to feel that emotion in our heart, either naturally by connecting to the people or projects that you are right now working on, or recollect from your past in your life, any event or incident where you felt enormous amount of love, gratitude, compassion, kindness, adventure, where you felt love for nature, love for yourself, love for others, whatever that may be, but ultimately fill up your heart with that emotion. So we do that for a few minutes as a way to go into the emptiness quickly. So we do that for a few minutes, then I guide into breath mindfulness meditation now. And that time you come into the breath mindfulness meditation, and the posture for that is comfortable posture. We sit in the chair, the way we are sitting, or on the floor, cross-legged. We put fingers into fingers, and then rest our hands comfortably on our lap. Then we cross our feet at ankles, and then we close our eyes, remove the specs. We observe normal, natural in-breath and the out-breath. That's the procedure. So 3 simple things: crossing our hands, fingers into fingers, cross our feet, and then close your eyes, and then observe the breath. This is the main meditation process for breath mindfulness meditation. Heart elevation, we're doing the same, where we are observing the breath, feet crossed, sit comfortably. During heart elevation, keeping the hands here, like this, and then we are filling up our heart with this emotion by also resting our attention on the heart, attention on the breath and on the heart during heart elevation process. It is possible we can put our attention on multiple things simultaneously. When we just attempt it, and it's going to happen. So observe the breath and put your attention on the heart, and then see that as you breathe in, sometimes the breath you might feel the breath going into your heart center. Feel that, and then from there you feel the emotion by collecting that event or incident. Follow my guidance, very easy. Relax yourself, dear friends. Sit comfortably. Remove your specs. Smartwatches also not required if you have them. Hope you enjoyed the session. That emptiness happens in many ways. But the fundamental thing is to be with the breath. If you are with the breath, then slowly, breath becoming lighter, shorter, thoughts becoming lesser and lesser parallelly. And at some point, we might forget we're observing the breath, and then at that point, we are going off into a no thought state automatically, one way. For some, the breath becomes non-existent. That's the time they cross over to the other side, where it becomes almost a point where you have nothing to observe, and then you are there, and then suddenly you are no longer there. There's a point where there may be some kind of a feeling that's there, that what's happening, and then you just have to let go at that point. Just have to let go of yourself, that where is it, and then you don't find it, and then you just let go. And then you may go to the other side. Now, when I'm guiding, because initially with observing the breath, thoughts are coming down. So then I'm somewhere in the second half I'm guiding. But can you become aware of that emptiness inside you, all around you? If you are thinking at that point, if you feel that you're already full of thoughts, then what you want to do is to observe the breath and not follow my guidance at that point. Because you got to be with the breath to empty your mind. And as you felt your emptied the mind, as you felt, then either you're already on the other side, so at which point my guidance is in the background. It'll be like a noise. Neither the music nor guidance, you'll listen to it. That means you're on the right track. You don't have to come back to observing my breath at all. But some are consciously aware. So you know that you're going empty, you know that nothing is there, and you still are able to follow my guidance. So then you're holding on to my guidance where I'm saying, can you become aware of that emptiness inside you, all around you? So where you remember you're aware of it, then you can follow my guidance. So then meditation experience at that point becomes a little more deeper from a conscious awareness perspective. I mean, from experience perspective, it becomes deeper. Whether you are aware of my guidance or not, if you're already on the other side, the benefit and effect is same, because you're already in an empty state. And when you're in an empty state, you're already in that field. You're becoming one with that energy and receiving the frequency, and all that is same. But one where you're consciously aware of my guidance is when I'm saying become empty, feel that emptiness around you, and then with that, stay in that state for as long as you want. So then you are a little more controlled environment of meditation where you are. I mean, eventually that's where we will, it's eventually with a long practice, that's where we want to go, where we are fully aware of everything that's happening around, yet we are with nobody, with nothing. So either way, it's fine. Whether you follow my guidance or not, the key is to be with the breath and slowly say empty yourself. And there'll be a point where either you forget and so you're on the other side, or breath is becoming almost zero, then you're letting go to the other side. You're going to the other side. Now that's about when my second part of the guidance sort of helps to, if you are able to catch, because you are somewhere in that state of I won't say drowsiness, kind of a trance state. You can catch my guidance, then you are sort of holding on to the guidance to go a little more deeper. If you didn't catch it, it's fine too. But don't try to break that state to hold on to my guidance, or try to visualize an emptiness that is there. It has to be a lessened thought, no thought, empty state of mind. Means it can empty state of mind. You know that you're not thinking actually about anything other than just be with yourself at that moment. And I said always, you look at left side. When I say look, I mean you become aware, try to put your awareness, attention onto the left side, onto the right side. Then you should not be feeling or sensing the walls, the furniture, the people on left or right. If you're not sensing those, and if you look and you try to put your awareness on your body, then in an emptied state, you would not be sensing your body. You'll find it's all black, it's all empty, it's all void, it's all gray color, it could be a blue color, it could be a yellow color, white color, whatever that is for you. It could be like in a vast sky. Yeah, different people express different ways what emptiness means. It could be like a big ocean without anything in that ocean. Fundamentally, that ocean also, you may not feel the water, but it's all just a vast space of emptiness there. The color doesn't matter. And in meditation, no chanting. In meditation, no visualization of any forms in the mind, no gods, no chanting. Anything that we do will be, for this meditation purpose, is a mind activity. We are trying to avoid any mind activity. And then observing the breath is still a concentration technique. However, breath is so intelligent. Breath is there with all the time with us. So by observing the breath, we naturally and then most easily forget that we are observing it. Just the way right now you never even recollect and remember that you are breathing. So as you are listening in, meditation is helping us get better people. We could hold on to the chat for some time. So those people who are not able, who have this pop-up keeps coming up for them, particularly mobile. So I'll appreciate if you can hold on to the chat, and so we can focus on the subject. Deeply thankful for appreciation, so maybe we could do it at the end. It's easy when we can do things on our own. We have great health, great energy. We know our thought power, apply it, and then we can build stuff and then do it on our own. It's easy. But you got to work with people, which is where most of the larger creations have happened. We create big things with many people. So working with people is so fundamental, right? It need not be said. In surveys, apparently, when they've been asked, what is very important for you in gaining happiness? Most people have said it is being able to connect with people. Being able to be with people is where many people found that the happiness is there when they are with other people. So it requires relationship are going away because of our emotions, our lower emotions, what we call the anger, frustrations, or we fear something. And a lot of these emotions are also coming out of the fear. We fear for survival. We fear failures. We want control. Because of various aspects, we have greed, we want control. And control means, again, relationships go bad. So emotional intelligence is helping us. They call it emotional intelligence. Daniel Goleman, I think, who has written a great book called Emotional Intelligence, something I read long ago. Emotional intelligence means, let me share this slide. There are 5, many people have said many things around it, but I think broadly, this conveys the message. You can classify. Emotional intelligence is self-awareness. That you're becoming aware of everything that's happening right now. the emotion, the body sensations, the feelings that we are experiencing, your thought process. It's all being aware. Many times we do without being aware, right? When we use that standard word, mindfulness. So we become totally mindful, is that self-awareness. The thought, what is going through. So if you are eating, you are aware that you are eating. First is awareness. Then you can express it appropriately because you're aware of what's going on. There's self-expression, which is the second one, or regulation. We use these words interchangeably. So you're aware, so then you can choose to act in a specific way. One thing. Self-express is because you're aware. Now, because you're aware of all your emotions, all your thought patterns, then you start acting in a way that is most beneficial to you first. If you are feeling guilty, the moment you become aware, then you are looking to go out of that guilt feeling. A lot of times we're not aware that I'm guilty. A lot of times we're not aware that I'm feeling low. I'm feeling less confident. I'm criticizing myself a lot. Like, I'm stupid. Why did I do this? I'm so stupid. Ridiculous. We just do the self-talk. So we are self-aware, then we start expressing in a way, first we stop criticizing and all that, then there is this helping others. Also respond in a way that works beautifully with others. We'll learn each of these a little more deeply. Third, we become inspired. Inspiration. We start inspiring others first because we get inspired. 4, we become empathetic in situations, not sympathetic, empathetic. We understand others the way they are. And finally, we engage and we develop so much social skill that we actually engage with others. Now, all of this is getting enhanced significantly with meditation. All of them. Self-awareness, self-expression, empathy, inspiration, social skills. Self-awareness. You are expecting a good status from a people. You got to submit. Project deadlines are coming. You have a date. But the team members in a meeting tell that, no, it's not, sir, we are missing the date. We're not able to make it. But you already committed. So what happens? If you are self-aware, suddenly we recognize, even though we really get upset, without meditation, without the self-awareness, we are just our usual self. Just give out a mouthful, or suddenly open up and say, how can you do this? But self-awareness, before we even jump in, we are becoming very aware of that emotion. First thing is that becoming aware of it. The moment we are aware, then we at least have option to respond in a way, right? If you're not aware, there's no option. But when you are aware, then we take a few seconds to get composed and then respond appropriately. People make a comment on work that you've done. They're trying to give a feedback on work that you've done. They make a comment. First thing we feel is, How can somebody make a comment like this? We're not ready to, we're in a denial state, we're not ready to accept it. But then that's because there are a lot of fears. Everything is out of fears, by the way. Because of fear, suddenly we're not ready to accept, and then we respond in a way, even though it may be a very good comment. No, that's not how it's going to work. This is how it is. First reaction, immediately we say, because we're not ready to take a comment. That's because we may be feeling that we feel fear of looking bad, or fear of losing out in an office environment. If somebody makes a comment, gives a feedback, comment means feedback I'm talking. So self-awareness is about being in the present moment. We understand our thought patterns, our reaction patterns, our emotion patterns. And as a result, we are exhibiting appropriate, it's giving us a choice to be able to respond in an appropriate way. Most important benefit. We all understand this very, very well. So we become aware of how are we speaking, how are we eating, what are we doing in the current moment. That is mindfulness, right? Only because of when we have self-aware, dear friends, then we can gain the self-worth back again. First is about survival fears, then it is about not accepting ourselves the way we are. That guilt, that shame, or feeling inadequacy, lack of inadequacy of love, inadequacy of anything, right? So feeling low in confidence, they're all a lack of understanding. We're not even aware that we're doing it many times. But when we are aware, then with all of this consciousness expansion and various books you read and all that, because we are aware of an emotion that the way we're feeling at any given time, then based on our new knowledge that we can apply readily and then come out of that emotion. And now everything is going back to your thoughts create reality. The way we feel is what we create more of ourselves. So we need that awareness, and the meditation is bringing that awareness. Otherwise, nothing new. Without meditation, you can learn any amount of subject, doesn't matter, because we've been told, hey, always love yourself. But how? Because we don't have awareness, we can't even remove that very thought. So meditation is a great way to be aware of all our emotion. Second thing is self-expression. Now is being authentically expressing what you are. One of the core things in this is not requiring the necessity to prove your points to people. You gain your balance, your composure, then you are positively expressing whatever you want to say, so you express it positively. You're making positive emotion, positive action. When that situation, when your team said, I can't meet it, then you start becoming understanding, and then so you are giving a more composed response. Because you understand that things can happen, things can go wrong. Everybody has their own low days. So in a self-expression model where you are your natural yourself, and then you're not seeking approval of anybody, you're more confident about yourself. So in any work situation, any group situation, you're not trying to argue and prove your point, make your point and say, okay, I'm right. You recognize that yes, multiple points exist. I'm this way. For example, when I sit in the morning, we are helping small businesses. People are helping small businesses. Okay, so that's one point of view. That comes from the point of view that small businesses are suffering. But there could be another point of view. Hey, large businesses have larger expenses, larger issues, then so they also need to be helped. That's another point of view. There's no need to debate. There's no need to express and then try to prove a point. Every time we prove points, every time we argue, we are, while of course it is going into a poor relationship, but more importantly, it is draining energy of the other person. Exchange of energy is happening all the time in the form of energy science. I understood this long ago, and then avoid an argument as much as possible. And every meditator is trying to not get into that arguments, drawn into that arguments. You're putting your points. You can have a discussion, not to down somebody, and then not to raise your voices, desperately prove a point. Celestine Prophecy is a great book to read. Celestine Prophecy by James Redfield. How we suck energy from other person every time we put a point across to them. And they put a point across, they pull the energy back from you. So in the process of energy exchange, rather than drawing the energy from the universe, we draw energy from people. All control is that way. When you're trying to control the other person, you're drawing the energy from the other person. So one is going down, another is feeling great. At the end of an argument, at the end of interaction. That's not what we want. So self-expression is about being confident about yourself, that not needing to seek approval of somebody else, and then communicate with that positive feeling, and then be done. So that's when we are ready to receive feedback also, because you're okay, you're understanding that, okay, many points exist, so it's okay. You're ready to take it. Because at the end of the day, if you have control in making a decision, you still make your decision. Because you're confident, you'll make your decisions appropriately, but you are soliciting the feedback, you still make your own decision, right? That is always there. The third thing is inspiration. We become very inspired through meditation. Because, first of all, we understand that we create our reality. I mean, everything comes back to these larger things. We understand that we create our reality. We start feeling positive for little things to nothing. We start making things happen in our life because our thoughts process have changed. As things are happening to our life, we become confident. And so when we are becoming confident, when things are generally, that's what happens. When your success is coming, then you feel like doing more, right? When success is not there, material success or any success is not there, then we feel like withdrawing. But as meditators, things are happening for us, so we feel generally positive. And then when we're generally positive, we're also, with meditation, clarity improving, so we start aligning to what we like to do. The moment we aligning what we like to do, then we naturally are inspired to do things. We talked about this. When you're goal setting, you set goals which are inspiring for you. That means because you increase in clarity, so things that you only want to do, things that are relevant for you. You're no longer doing things because some friend is doing it, or your family members are always asking you to do, but then you don't do it because it's not something in alignment to you. So we become inspired. We find a passion that, like, what is that gives me happiness, and you're latching on to that passion. Even in office, in a current role, if you like the role, then you're going to continue. You recognize that, okay, is it aligning? If not, then you're going to change that role to something else, but you'll try to work towards changing, or you'll find a meaning in what you do. There must be a good reason of why you have it. For example, there are a set of maids who are working in a company, they're cleaning in a hospital, sorry, in a hotel. So they felt that, there's a very hard work. Every day they used to clean 8 to 10 toilets. And so that used to break their bodies by the end of the day. Because each toilet takes about 45 minutes, so 8 to 10 toilets, 8 hours of work. And they feel like it's pretty hard work. It is hard work, right? If you have to do one after the other, back to back, maintenance. But then they found a new meaning when because they're young, but they're losing their health. And then so they brought a physical fitness, I guess, right? Physical fitness instructor, teacher. And that person has told them, hey, look, every time you're doing this movement to clean that potty seat, you clean that tub, clean this shower area, and then this is what you're exercising, you're flexing this muscle, that muscle. And I tell you what, everything you're doing there is like an actual equivalent to your exercise, your yoga. They said this is stretching this muscle, this is useful to this yoga, that yoga. And then suddenly they changed their understanding. They understood a deeper, it's called, increase or change your understanding. The moment they change your understanding, then they start enjoying that work now. And then immediately they gained their health back. Within a matter of few weeks, they gained all their health back. Because they felt, okay, something is doing good for the body, right? So they changed their understanding. Likewise, when we are in office, whatever, either we align to what we want, or we start accepting things the way, because we also learn from accept and surrender in this manifestation, why things are happening. Our today is based on yesterday's. We accept what is there, and then we try to enjoy it. We move from do what you like to we move into like what you do. Meditators will become that. And as a result, friends, the most important thing that happens is we increase a sense of responsibility. We increase our sense of responsibility at workplace. We no longer are cribbing to do the dishes, my favorite. My children keep pulling my leg. That I'm doing less and less of dishes these days. But we stop complaining about it. We find ways of enjoying that, right? And that's really what it is. Doing what you like to, liking what you do is a big shift, and we will move into that. As we start recognizing, accepting, because what is happening is in a thoughts create realities. These shifts will happen slowly, but it'll happen for sure. It'll happen for everybody. So because of that, sense of responsibility increases, and we become managers' delight in companies. I can tell you that much. You don't have to chase people, employees. If managers and managers and leaders, you hire meditators, they become so self-managing, you don't have to chase them. They will do the work and then they'll complete it, and we all have people like that. So most workforce will move into that. Because you like what you do, then naturally you give you 100%, right? No work it. Sense of responsibility also increases not only to ourselves, but also to others. Because we all have direct responsibility, indirect responsibility. We got to ensure that not only ours, in businesses, in large companies, particularly in small companies also. Oh, he's tough. He doesn't take feedback. Let him do what he wants to do. I know he's wrong, but he'll learn it the hard way. That cannot be the first response. That should be the last response. You have to do we cannot let things suffer, right? We are in a team. And many times when going to companies, we forget and start playing into politics, and we forget why we are in a company. We are in a company to grow ourselves. If the company grows, we grow. But then because it's politics, or because we have a current or egos, we want to grow, and then we let others suffer. We'll let other work suffer. If the other work suffers, our project also will suffer. We miss it. And this is a problem even in spiritual organizations also. People come for service, then suddenly they forget service and then start competing, fighting. And they lose their original track of why they came in. Any service organization, they forget the original purpose. We come here to serve and help, but then we go into this politics and we go into this expectations are not met. What we don't recognize is the end of 5 years, we are also not growing. We're only got entangled into this politics. We got to stay on to our vision of why we gain into an organization. Because I want to grow, I want to learn, I want to earn maybe more money materially. It's fine, no problem. And it happens when companies succeed. That happens only when together we work together. It's got to be that way. So empathy is the fourth one, dear friends, and engagement. Empathy is... we understand, because you understand our emotion. Many times we can't deliver at times in time. There is a reason. Maybe that day is a bad day. That day we had issues at home, issues in the community. So we are empathetic. We're not only looking always from our side. I'm an intelligent leader, a manager. I'm a senior technical person. I'm very intelligent. but you expect the other person also to be the same level tough, right? We know that. We got to be lowering ourselves to a level where they can understand, we can understand them and become empathy. Understand them the way they are. So the moment we become empathetic, we stop judging and we stop complaining about people. So first and foremost thing I learned from Patrice when I came into this meditation path is that stop judging, stop complaining. Easy to give judgments because we don't like something, immediately judge and then immediately start giving suggestions, unsolicited suggestions. So many will come. When we judge, then we also either withdraw or give suggestion. Both will happen. In meditation path, we understand that everybody is equal, everybody is right. Everybody is right. There are people who are spending time in their lifetimes in body needs, people spending lifetimes in body and mind needs, people spending lifetimes body, mind, intellect needs. Helping others is what helps me. And then people spend lifetimes in body, mind, intellect, and then consciousness exploration needs. All four. There are people of all levels are there in the world. And we have to recognize and we empathize with everybody at the same level because everybody is right in the way based on their consciousness. We understand this. We'll understand this remote and spatial quotient. And then finally, empathy is one, then we stop judging and we start complaining, and finally engagement. So we are social, so we go in, we actively work with people, we want to go out, we want to share. So social skills improve. So we do many more things, not only what is in our way, but we also actually take interest. Community help, service help, right? So emotional intelligence is where you know that if you help others, they help you. So by default, you are socially or being there with the people. And this also happens because we are increasing our listening skills significantly. Meditators have a lot of high listening skills. We become zero at any given situation. There are 4 barriers to growth: fear, half knowledge, power, and old age, meaning things that we said, okay, I've done it too many times. But I'm not going to the detail, but one of them is, the second one is half knowledge. The moment we gain some knowledge in a given area, like even meditators also, right? Then we stop listening to others, and when we stop listening to others, then we lose out. There is no social skill is missed out. But the important point is to become zero at all times. No matter how much we know, we got to be a student of life, and then we keep learning and learning. And then in meditation, we understand that there is infinite knowledge to be learned. And so we become zero all the time, and then ready to listen. Totally surrender, totally ready to listen. When Karthikeyan is speaking, ready to listen. When Aswib is speaking, ready to listen. These great leaders, for example, Ramneesh sir has so much potentially wisdom in running a non-profit organization to the best possible way. We want to be ready to listen when he is speaking. Zero. But instead we want to impress upon by just opening our mouth and talking. So we want to instead become zero. So meditators become a lot of, develop excellent listening skill. Listen, what is there? And then only give a suggestion when asked, in most cases. The only time Scott Peck said in Road Less Traveled, he's an Harvard professor, the only time we question somebody is when we feel it's going to help them grow spiritually. Everything else, otherwise they're living their life, so just help them, just let them live. It's a different thing in a contract in a company. We have a contract to do things between an employee and company. And so, yes, we have an agreement and said, I'm going to spend 8 hours and I'm going to do this work for you. So the agreement is there, so you have to fulfill the word. And if you're not fulfilling, yes, you're going to be asked because it's an agreement. You agreed to it. But outside of that agreement, it's all a free will that you are there. And so we do not have the right to question. I mean, we read that, it isn't provocating. that book, The Road Less Traveled by Scott Peck. Normally at home, trying to influence others and then try to tell using authoritative language that no, hey, you do it. Normally parents telling children, or vice versa. So dear friends, meditation is improving self-awareness, self-expression, empathy, social skills, and we get inspired, all five, and many more. And as a result, we become a great asset to the organization. We become we become social, so social, and we become magnet. And I've seen it, many people in, they have done second grade, fifth grade, but they are major teachers today. They have not studied at all. They don't know how to read, write, but they speak. They become so confident, and they are able to help so many people because socially they become very attractive. So with that, thank you, friends, and I'll take, Sir Ramani sir, some comments from you. You've been running an organization of sorts, all stature, because in a spiritual organization, you're dealing poor, serving them, and then you're using a lot of people, you're taking a lot of people to help do this service, but you're also probably supported by many wealthy individuals. So some tips to us on how we can be in an organizational structure and then support.
Chandra, actually there is a lot of take-home points from your talk only. I don't think much can be, as we get late today, almost 7:39. I would like to quickly say that a couple of things. One is you have made us realize that how important for all of us, irrespective whatever level we are, realize that we are all students of life. Have an open mind, listen to people, be at the zero level starting point so that you are not half enabled, you become fully enabled. And one of the participants also beautifully said about this meditation, which appealed to me, said, Nirmala Sthiti. Meditation takes us to a Nirmala Sthiti, a sthiti, a status, where there is no chaos, there is no confusion, there is so much of peacefulness, harmony. And once everything is harmonious, then we are more receptive. And today's lecture on emotional quotient, what you gave, Chandra, I think it is worth, I'm sure there's an enormous material for everyone. We in our institution, Shankara Eye Foundation, India, we always try to see how can we keep motivating our people. Inherently, every single employee, every single human being is bestowed with a lot of positive qualities. It is only lack of opportunities to bring them out. And I'm sure meditation makes them realize who they are. And that's what we're going to do now. It's amazing because their potential becomes so much. And then everyone starts enjoying. Taking care of our daily life is one part of it. Enjoying it is much more important. Enjoying what we do. And that is where your self-awareness, your self-expression, the inspiration, what you're going to constantly derive, maybe from our work, the empathy, when we go down to that level and try and understand, it's not sympathy, it is empathy, and above all, the engagement, the social skills. If all these things can be taken care, emotional quotient, through meditation, and through masters like you expressing it so vividly, so beautifully, such a short time. Thank you, Chandra. We are all obliged to you. Thank you very much. Some other day, I will just talk more about our institution.
Thank you, sir. I'll remember that too. We'll actually schedule some time during this rest of the 20 days. Yes, sir. Thank you, sir. And as customary, so we'll close it with Karthikeyan sir's. I know sir does not like, it's a little late. I needed to give that meditation a little about a lot of people are asking empty nest state. So I lost about 5 to 6 minutes time there in the beginning. Yes, sir. Karthikeyan, sir.
Well, beautifully summed up. Beautifully summed up by Dr. Ramani. You can't do better than that. As always, he summed up the whole thing so nicely. Yes, don't judge, don't complain. There's dignity in every office. It is your attitude to anything which decides your altitude in life. Attitude decides your altitude in life, whatever job you may do. There's a dignity in whatever you do. You may be doing what's called the lowest, there's a quotation, famous quotation about street sweeper in New York. They said, the street sweeper used to do such a perfect job of sweeping the streets. It's as if, Michelangelo used to spend so much time in painting. So that means, you can do anything out of that. In my own experience, I have seen some of the lowest functionaries come out with most brilliant ideas. And you have to treat everybody with empathy and dignity and give them an opportunity to grow. Instead of passing judgment and condemning them, people can be evolved, help them to evolve. And nothing more to say. That was beautiful. Yes, EQ is the most important aspect of life, more than other, IQ and other things. Ultimately, a person's satisfaction in life, how much he enjoys or she enjoys life, or how much he contributes to the happiness of others depends upon the EQ, emotional quotient is the most important aspect of family life, official life, in all walks of life. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. EQ is most important, what Karthikeyan sir is saying. And we all, many of us agree. Thank you, Ramani sir. Your summarization, and we'll certainly take your inputs about how your organization is run on this. Thank you so much, dear friends. And we'll meet tomorrow at 10 o'clock again. And today during the day, we're going to send a self-assessment form because we're in the midway of the program. It's great to sort of understand for ourselves. So take a few moments, maybe about 10 minutes. I mean, you can do it in 3 minutes also, but just spend a little bit of time and then assess yourself as accurately as possible so that it's fun to sort of know, all of us together will understand. One is, of course, we benchmark ourselves 3 weeks ago where we are to now. And then we're going to do this once more towards the end of the program. So we get some data and they also understand, right? So please take the time and turn it back in 2 days by Thursday. It only requires 10 minutes of your time. I'll really appreciate if you can take the time and then do this. So thank you all. It will be sent through we'll send that by email as well as through WhatsApp groups. So, and it's a Google form. All you have to do is to just fill up those 10 questions. Have a great day. Thank you.